Good morning. It's time for Comics and Coffee with Cliff. Today is our guest is Chris. Woo! I can't talk today, and I wish it was because I was drinking, but it's not the case. Today is Comics and Coffee. It's episode 66. My guest is Chris Collects, aka Chris Collects Stuff.
Yes, because Chris Collects was taken, so I had to come up with one other word. I was like, I'm not settling for something else. That's it.
Absolutely. Now, a quick word from our production to the audience. Just in case.
Yes, we don't know.
Just in case, because I like the spicy questions, so I want to be careful. To be careful. Already, the chat is warming up this morning. The first one was Rod the Rican last night. R Thunder joined us. White Tiger, good morning. Cowabunga. My beloved John's Comics for Kids. My friend David was helping me with all of this. Nerdy Geek, good morning. How are we all doing? I am functionally awake.
Yeah, the hour change is definitely affecting me a little bit.
Yeah, Yo, you know what's so funny? Look at George clutching my pearls. Little did he know that we were literally talking about clutching the pearls behind the scenes. Oh my goodness. So, Chris, welcome. I've been enjoying all your Instagram stuff, which is how I think I technically discovered you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I was just like, hi, you're there. And actually, no, you wrote to me. No, I don't remember.
No, I commented on, I think, one of yours.
Yes, you commented on mine. I was like, I'm so excited. And it's so funny because I'm so that way. Yesterday I ran into this younger man, who collects comics, and he's on TikTok. And it's funny because he's only 10 years younger than me, right? He looks much younger, and of course I look younger, so I love that.
Of course. So he was 10? No, I'm just kidding.
No, he looks 26, and I look maybe 36, and in reality he was closer to 36, and he's like, "How old are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm 47." And I was like, "We're in public. There's a cute guy over there. Be careful." And and so it was really funny. We were going through this whole thing, and so we were at this dealer, and the guy had a copy of Damian Wayne's first appearance, and my new friend is inquiring about it, whatever. And I'm buying a sugar ton.
As you should. I mean, when you're presented with some good stuff, you never know when you're going to see it again.
I'm buying a ton of stuff, and meeting his Philobox challenge or whatever. And so I'm already buying all these things. I was like, hey, give me a deal on that book. And he's like, okay. And so then I gave it to him. And he's like, no, I got to get you something. I was like, you don't have to get me anything. Just here, enjoy, blah, blah, blah. And then later he found me and he gave me a first appearance of Amethyst in Legion of Superheroes because he knows I love Legion of Superheroes. Plus he's like, I guess this Amethyst thing.
Right.
And then later on, we were going through a dollar box again. And I was like, look, this one's full of Amethyst. Oh my goodness. Missing Mars, good morning. Happy Time Change Sunday. Yes. Pops, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, yes, good morning. So, folks, all right, sir. I don't even know how I want to do the introductory thing. I love asking the questions. I'm just so tired of asking the same ones, but I kind of enjoy them,
Sure. That's, and this is honestly, we've only interacted, just a little bit on Instagram. So you don't know me. I'm just.
No. And it was really funny because when I reached out to you, what are your favorite characters and stuff? And and then I couldn't tell if you meant Absolute Batman or Batman.
Bro.
And then also I'm like, I am misreading the situation because you have appeared in a Superman t-shirt in many of your videos. I'm like, so anyhow, I just said, you know what? I'm going to find a great picture of Batman and Superman and I'm going to use it. And that's
I know Superman's your jam and I like Superman. I like, but never Superman I don't have like a childhood connection with Superman like I do like Batman. Like that's and I think it boils down to some of that. Like when it comes to like some of those like big characters, like the big mainstream stuff, it kind of depends on like who you connected with at a younger age. At least I think so. And
I absolutely think so. And that's going to lead into my first question.
cool.
Which is, what is the first comic you remember owning?
It's X-Men #1. It is the very first comic I ever bought. So this is like the
Chris Claremont Jim Lee one?
Yes.
Wow.
And I still have it. It's graded. It's like a 9.6. It's not like the perfect or whatever because, you know, childhood me read it.
No, but 9.6 is excellent for a book that's 33 years old.
That I kept as a child.
Yes, I have.
It has come with me to like.
My X-Men #4 is 33 years old, and it came back in 9.4. You know, when I sent it in for signature series, I'm very proud.
Yeah,
and it moved with me. It moved with me 5 times. I'm sure you're about to say something similar to the X-Men.
Same, yeah. Like it came with me to college, and then to like all the different, you know, like the apartment, the house, you know, just throughout my adulthood. And it's kind of just like an accident, I guess. Like we were going to the grocery store, and right next to the grocery store was this new place called just the Newsstand. And my dad wanted to go in there to pick up like a newspaper or a magazine or something for grown-ups. I don't remember. And I just was looking at comics, and that was the week X-Men #1 came out, and I bought the main cover and one of the variants. So I've got both of those. And then as a surprise for my birthday, my spouse sent it off for grading, and I was like, very cool, very cool.
You're like very sneaky under the radar.
I know. He did a whole batch of them. It was like all my childhood comics he sent off for grading.
Good morning, Jeff. Yes, I did get to see you at King Con. I was not aware about the after party. Shame on you, Izzy, for not telling me. I'm like, we went to a signing at a brewery 30 minutes away. And then we were, at that point, we're close to home. And we were tired because we were up from 5 a.m. because, of course, Izzy wanted to stay at the crack of dawn, Jeff. And this is what happens. And then we went to Zap Comics, which was pleasant. And then I went home. And then I figured I'm going to pass out. But no, I jumped on Mad Spidey and stayed up even later because I have comic issues, for real. And good morning, Rattlesnake. Good morning. All right. So.
I'm nervous now. You're like getting limber for this next one.
Well, the next one's fun.
Okay.
What's a comic that you certainly overpaid for, but you don't regret it?
Oh, shoot.
At least one. I'm sure there could be more than one, but there's got to be one where you're like, I paid too much for this, but you're like, I love it. I love it.
I think it might be my Moon Knight #1 that's up here.
Ooh.
Like I remember feeling like, oh, this is like 10, 20, 30 bucks over, but it was in really good shape, and I hadn't ever seen it in the wild, and I was just getting back into comics. Like I've come kind of like, and I think a lot of people have done this, not everybody, but like where you're hot on it for a little bit, and then like life happens and you forget. Like I consider myself like more of a recent comic fan in like the sense of like actually looking at artists and creators and like learning that stuff like the last 2 years, because when I was like younger, it was just about the characters and the cool cover and, you know, what was happening in the story, and I wasn't really paying attention to it. And so when I got back into comics, I started like I want the stuff that I never had. And when I had come across Moon Knight, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I don't want to buy it.
And you're like, and it's so cute because you're like, you overpaid like $30, and
I'm super thrifty. Like money does not leave my wallet very easily.
Yeah, you're like, you know you want it when the money leaves your wallet, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I am trying to fill the emptiness in my soul.
Yes, I love that comment. You cannot overpay for Moon Knight.
No, Flash by Night is a Flash fan and a Moon Knight fan.
I was about to wear my Moon Knight shirt actually.
Oh my god!
I'm repping my LCS today. This is our alpaca year 1 shirt for the comic shop that I go to here in San Antonio.
Yes. Look at this, same super frugal. I'll tell you how frugal he is. I found a guy with discount slabs at Heroes Con. I'm like, come on, let's go. And he's like, no, Cliff, stop trying to spend my money and live vicariously through me. And I'm like, but it's one of my more charming qualities. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
My money leaves my wallet if my wife gives me the green light. There you go. Exactly.
I was working.
Like the minute the wife is like, honey, here, spend some money at your Comic-Con this weekend. It's like, yeah.
Because like you can always remind her this all could be drugs, you know, like.
Oh no, that's what I have to tell my 80-something-year-old mother. I was like, and she's like, I don't understand this. You buy so much. It's this, it's that, it's the other thing. I'm like, it could be drugs. It could always be drugs. My
favorite new quote of the year that I feel like I live by, it's that girl that was doing like 365 buttons and it was like one button per day. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, just Google 365 buttons. But people were hounding her like, I don't get it. Like, what are the buttons for? What are you gonna do with these buttons? And then she just chimed in like very fast and was like, hey, it only has to make sense to me for me to do it. And she's like, back off. I still don't know what she was going to do with these buttons. It was just like, I want to be more mindful of time passing. So I'm going to do one button per day. I don't get it. I don't.
And like, it's like a different button every day or like.
Listen, hey, it only has to make sense to me for me to do it.
No, I know. But like, so in other words, I could get.
I don't know.
Right. So I can just get any button system I want to use, just do a button a day to be more mindful.
I just want to be more mindful of time passing is what she said. SNL did they spoofed it on Weekend Update. Just look it up. It's my new mantra.
Oh my God. I love it because it's already got me going.
Yeah.
Mindfulness. And of course, which is part of my freaking job, you know?
Mm.
So it sounds great. Okay, I've already got a side video.
Perfect. Yeah, after this, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be all over that. Let's see. Ooh. All right, this is a good one. Do you think of yourself as a key collector or a run collector or maybe a hybrid?
Woof. I think when it comes to like characters that I really like, I'm more run. And then I'm always on the lookout for just like certain things. Like there's like I mentioned, I really like Batman, but I can't. There's too much. Right. There's too much. So like I do seek out some of those that are like first appearances or like this major thing happened. You were just talking about first Damian Wayne. That was one of the first ones that I went out and hunted, and have that one in one of my boxes back there. But
have you thought about doing stuff like, okay, I'm not going to have it all, but maybe I can have issue 400 to present?
No, because I know that there's two, like, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I'm collecting the two runs that I'm trying to finish right now. And I'm trying to finish my Nova, my first, like the first 25 of those because there's only 25. Nice. Yeah. I picked up a graded Nova 1 because I was speccing on Marvel doing a movie or a show or something. Yeah. And then Darkhawk is the other one, and I'm almost done with that run.
That last issue is a pain. Do you have the last issue?
I do.
That was the biggest pain.
Yep. And I don't know. There's something about those characters that I really like. I sometimes you can't really put into words like why exactly does it connect with you or whatever. But it's that it's in the same way like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's like, oh, I get bit by the spider, I become Spider-Man. And then like with Nova and Darkhawk, it's like I don't know if it's a little bit like almost Green Lantern-y kind of thing. Like you find the ring or you find the shard thing that makes you Darkhawk, but you're like a kid. I do connect, I think, a little bit more with Sam Alexander's Nova, the kid Nova when they relaunched it, because it felt very similar to like Darkhawk. Like he's figuring out how to be he's growing up and he's trying to figure out just who he is, but then also now he's got the Nova helmet and he's Nova. Like,
well, because that's a little bit of Richard Rider's story too. Like he's just a teenager. Like Richard Rider, Darkhawk, Sam Alexander, all are just like young people trying to figure it out. And it's like, oh no, I've got superpowers now. What does this mean? What am I doing?
Yeah. I think with Richard though, like I don't like he doesn't come across as a believable teenager in my.
No, which is funny because he and Spider-Man have a conversation during the Bagley era, and they talk about each other's age, and he's like, "You're older than me," and Spider-Man's like, "You're younger than me."
Yeah,
and I like it because it speaks to the fact that Nova has a sense of maturity, and he has a sense of he has an ethic to him.
Yeah.
Right. And like, and and Nova kind of just accepts how chaotic the superhero life is, you know? And Spider-Man is just always like, oh, you know, like I'm trying to get through school. I can barely pay rent. You know, no girl is interested in me until 3 girls are interested in me, you know.
And then how do I choose? Oh no, poor Peter Parker.
You know, oh no, Black Cat's in love with Spider-Man. Mary Jane's in love with Peter. Oh, you know.
Poor guy.
But like, I just find it super freaking cute because, like, you know, I thought that was a great answer to Nova's sense of maturity for a teenager.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
I do also like the current run, the Nova Centurion.
I love it, and they're already killing it. They're already killing all of the Imperial space stuff. Honestly, I don't care. Y'all claim to be losing money all the time. Finish your freaking story. Finish what you set out to do.
I don't want to get into like
figure it out later.
Yeah, like it can be really easy for me to fall into my Marvel kind of my rant, because if you go back 2 years ago on my like new comic book day videos, there's like a ton of Marvel, and now it's like every week it's like I've got one.
Yep.
I feel like Marvel doesn't know what they want to do. I think ever since the Absolute universe hit with DC and it became this thing, I feel like
which quickly consumed their Ultimate Sting.
Yes.
Yeah, like they should have been like, "Yo, we started this. We're gonna keep on trucking." But no, they were like, "Well, we didn't have. It was always a plan to be like a 2-year thing. Why? Do you not like your clients enjoying stuff? You know,
I don't know what Marvel wants. Like, I don't know, as a fan of and you know, someone who reads and prefers it, you know, on a whole, like if I had to compare like, you know, this set of characters and this set of characters, I connect more with the Marvel characters. I like their characters feel more real. They're grounded. It's like taking place in cities that I'm familiar with. It's you know, but I don't think they know what they want to do as a whole. And it goes with just the comics and also with the movies. I think they've been in a situation where they're trying to course correct. And then I think that they thought they were going in the right direction, and then Absolute blew everything out of the water. And so they had probably so many books like in production or like scheduled that they can't, you know, that's why they're canceling them. Is like, we're trying to move over here, but we have all this stuff that we got to put out because we already spent money on it. I don't know. That's my hope. My hope is they're trying to do something and that like we'll just blow everything up and start over. I don't know.
I think
yes, Moon Knight, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. I was gonna say I think they're relying too much on brand loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe cool variants. I'm sorry, because that's really what I feel like it's coming down to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Oh, Marvel. Which is funny. I'm gonna save that for rapid fire. Okay. These two are good. Who do you think is a comic book artist that deserves more recognition?
I have been really into Michael Cho's work on Space Ghost. I like his like very retro, like almost Hanna-Barbera style stuff. I just don't see his because it's very unique. Like he has like a certain style to it, so it's not everybody's thing. It's sort of like I think Peach Momoko's awesome, but I don't care for her. I don't pick up her stuff. Like it's not my look. It's not my thing.
I gotta tell you, when somebody needs to pay her properly, because when she is fully dedicated and she doesn't have to do 15, 16 covers a week. Yeah. When she's fully dedicated, it is gorgeous, right? And stunning and detailed. And if you notice, those are what her earliest cover pieces are like.
It's a good
right?
point. Yeah.
And now it's just all soft, drifty watercolor with occasional exceptions.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I was like, wow, if somebody actually paid her what she was worth, and so she could focus on one title, that'd be great. In the meantime, the book that I feel I didn't mean to segue, but I quickly turned conversations on myself.
All right.
A book that I think no one's really talking about, Skinbreaker by Kirkman and David Finch. It is David Finch's best art, and no one talks about this book. I feel like I have to bring it up all the time.
Yeah, I kind of dropped that book. I had it on my pull. It's beautiful art-wise. I just was like, I'm not connecting. Like this isn't.
It's a very tribal story. I'm in it. I'm here for.
You're committed, yeah.
You know, because I accept your premise.
Yeah.
And I will allow you to take me on this journey. It wasn't the journey I woke up for. It's not the journey I go sniffing the shelves for. You know, do I want a gay detective duel murder mystery desperately? Absolutely. Instead, I've got this. And you know what? As often as I'll try it out, Kirkman. Let's see what happens. And I'm really enjoying it. I just feel like it's just like, I know it's just going to remain a sleeper until one day I'm like, oh my God, did anyone see this masterpiece?
Yeah, it absolutely. I can see that happening. I had so many books, and it took me a long time to just read those for like the first few issues. And then I was like, I think the fact that I waited too long, like to read it, was kind of my own gut telling me like, you're not really into this. Like you're buying into like what's, there's a little hype. It's Robert Kirkman, like all that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to cut. And then if when it wraps up and everything, I want to read the trade, that's cool. I just like no more singles. But
I hear. Well, I'm not doing no more singles. I can't be that guy.
Oh no, yeah, but on that one,
I'm just like I need it in my life,
Yeah,
or
I
like,
for it. I feel like,
or worse. I'm like I need to support the arts. I need to support the arts. And a lot of people thought this was a series. I'm like, it's a one shot. You can buy a one shot, and it's freaking one shot. Buy it. And I'm bullying people into buying it. And I love this Vecchio.
Oh, love that
in particular.
Yeah.
And the last one was Lucas Wernick.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with these covers. I'm also very excited that the Dakota Incident History of the DC Universe one shot is going to second printing.
Good, because I missed out.
Yeah, I was told it had to hit 100,000 in sales to go to second print, and then Joe Illidge, who wrote one of the stories, recently said we're going to second print, so thank you everybody. And I was like, yay!
Good, yeah. I missed that one. I hadn't picked up the other, like the New History of whatever's DC Universe, and I just thought it was part of it, and I was just like,
no, it is, but you don't need them.
Right. I'm learning this now.
Right. So like, no, it's a great one. So just grab any of them, and it also explains why. It also gets into why a lot of Dakota characters are not around for major events. They explain their absence. All right, this is one of my more fun questions. You have $2,500 to spend at a convention. What are you going to be looking for?
Werewolf by Night 32.
Ooh,
because I don't have that. I would love to have my first Moon Knight appearance. Shoot. Honestly, I'd probably end up with a bunch of smaller items. I don't know. Like, I never think about having that much money to spend on like a specific or like one comic. I just go like, oh, that's just out of the question.
I gotta tell you. Well, like let's just say that like you won like a $2,500 Comic-Con gift certificate, right? Okay. It's like that's the scenario. So you know you have to spend it. So it's
like It's not my money. It's like that Toys R Us shopping spree fantasy we all had as a kid.
Exactly. And I
like
love
the strategy of like how you're gonna attack that shelf. And then when you see the kid who actually wins and he's like going around like looking at toys, I'm like, no.
Knock everything into the cart.
You put your hand at the back of the rack and you just shovel it into your cart, and then you go to the video game section and you pull all the pieces of paper, because that's how Toys R Us worked back then. To answer your question, I don't know. I feel like I need to look at my like.
Well, I gotta tell you, the Werewolf by Night is great because a 99092 easily is around $2,000.
So there you go. So it's gonna be that, and like just some whatever else I can fill my, that less $500 with. The rest of. I mean, I would love to finish to get more Werewolf by Night, more of some of the first ones. First Tomb of Dracula would be cool to have. Raw would be fine. I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the place when it comes to the stuff I collect.
So like just the idea that you're like, wait, I have to spend this money. You would be like, oh my goodness.
Because I'd be fighting my brain with thinking like, should I get like one or two big things, or should I come home with a lot of stuff? Because for my brain, I'd rather have a lot of stuff than like one or two really valuable things. I don't know why. That's just as I'm processing right through.
Like for instance, a Tomb of Dracula #1 and a 7.0, I could probably get that for around $400. You know? So I'm like, all right, let's start fishing for middle grade, middle grade keys.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the fun. I don't, just hunting down little things like that. I don't know.
Look at that. If I had that much money, the first 4 Hawkeye Raw and graded, then random stuff.
There you go.
I think I would definitely go looking for Tomb of Dracula. What is it? 13 is the first blade.
Oh yeah, that would also be cool.
Yeah, I would be looking for that. I know 13 is not the right one.
I know. Whichever number it is. I mean, we can't. Like I said, I'm like 2 years in to feeling like I'm back in learning. So I have so many gaps of like comic knowledge, and I hang out at the shop all the time. I run our shop social media, and I'm just learning so much as I do it.
That's pretty awesome though.
And getting to like meet, this like the artists that come through the shop, and like whenever we do like signings and stuff like that, I think that's been really cool. I think I don't know if people are aware of him, but there's a dude out of Mexico City. His name's Jonathan Uribe, and
I just saw him yesterday in person at King Car. Yeah,
fantastic. He is a great friend of the shop. He did our booth. He was at our booth last October for Big Texas Comic Con. And him and his wife, and we just hung out the whole time, and he's just doing original sketches and artwork, and it's just fantastic. Like people are throwing stuff at him, and he's just from his brain going on paper, and that's just, to me, that's amazing. I'm super jealous of people who can just visualize something and then grab a pencil, and then just like someone's like, "Oh, do Swamp Thing," and he's like, "No problem, Swamp Thing. Here's Swamp Thing."
Well, I mean, that just shows
O'Neill in the comics
how good his knowledge is, right?
Yeah. He's phenomenal, and just a all around cool dude. So that's been really neat as part of this journey of like collecting comics and kind of I don't know, like I'm like going all in an area that used to be kind of like a side part of my collecting. Like I was very much into more like the Star Wars and the action figures and that, and then the last 2 years it's been very much like, okay, comics has been all consuming, and I'm just really enjoying that
it's so funny because comics is my go-to joy, and I've deviated over time, but like I always come home to comics no matter what, and even when comics is like at the wayside, it's never gone, it's never out of the picture, it's always right there. But yeah, I've been desperately overboard with comics in like the last 4 years, and like it's kind of a bit of a problem that I'm just gonna have to accept that I have.
We can stop at any time. At any time,
yeah.
We can quit any time is what the PSAs from our childhood taught us.
And it's like, no, you can't, Laura. No, you can't. Okay.
I learned it from watching you.
Yeah, I learned it from watching you. And it was like, wipe the coke off of your mustache, Mom. And it's like,
Hey, it was the 80s. It's like, do as I tell you, not as I do.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. Always do as I tell you, not as I do. I love that so much. Oh my God, I had a question in vein of the last question. Why this?
I don't know.
Okay.
We were just talking about like if we had a bunch of money at a Comic-Con. I don't know if that helps.
Oh no, that does. It's the regret question. What comic did you lose, sell, etc., that you really wish you had, and now like it's back on? Now you're like, now I have to go find it and pay money for it, and you know, like what's that one regret where you're like, oh, now it's like a mission to go get that book back.
I don't. So this is not exactly the answer to your question, but it's sort of like that. So the shop was doing a weekend sale. They were dropping a bunch of keys. They had a whole big new collection they bought that was gonna be dollar books. So that was the main draw. But then they had some like doorbusters, and they, you know, it was on social media because I posted it, so I was aware of what books were coming out. And it's the Superman Flash, like their race.
The first race, the second race.
It was it's been a little.
Are they side by side? And Batman, I think, is shooting the gun, or somebody's shooting the gun for the race to begin.
I think so.
Okay, that's their first race.
Okay, so it was like I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna get in line at the shop. I am the first person at the door, which is so silly because like I'm a customer first, but then I'm also like kind of an employee because I run their social. I mean, I get paid to do that, but I still like wait in line. Like I don't want to be like, hey, hold that for me, or hey, do me a solid and like don't put that out, like put that in my box or something. Like I wait in line like everybody else. I go in and it's not there because somebody who I guess spends more money than me at the store must have, I think, called ahead of time and was like, hey, let me buy that over the phone for you. And I went into such a depressed state that I was like, how dare you? I waited in line. I got up here early. And
what does this teach you about doing the right thing, young man? What did this teach you?
Yeah. It's not worth it. And they're like, you didn't even tell me. And I was like, well, I mean, I didn't want to I don't want to be that guy.
And now for all future sales, you're like, I'm coming for the sale for this. Put it in my folder.
I have definitely, yeah, absolutely. I felt like such a heel. Like I don't want to be that person. Like yesterday, I'm at a horror convention, and I've got a VIP badge because I'm helping with the booth. So we've got a badge for autographs, and there's like nobody managing these lines for the VIP line, and I'm like, I'm feeling weird. Like I don't want to be like, yeah, hey, like I got this. I'm VIP. Like I don't know when I'm supposed to go between the regular line and me, and I'm waiting to get Doug Bradley, Pinhead from Hellraiser's autograph. And so eventually a staffer waved me through and it was like VIP. And I was like, oh, Jesus. And I'm like squeezing behind like other people who have been waiting forever. And then Doug Bradley was like, how does it feel to be a VIP? And I said, like, shit. Like, I was like, I feel terrible that I just cut in front of everybody. But
there's an episode of Blackish where they have VIP status at Disney World. And they start off feeling really bad about it. And that lasts about 40 minutes. And then the rest of the episode, they're like, VIP, excuse us, VIP. And then at the end of the day, the VIP status is over, right? And then they feel like absolute trash. And of course, they run into people who they stepped all over all day when they had VIP. And their personal concierge, who's been with them all day, he's like, no, you only paid for this package. That's it. It's over. I'm going I'm going
Yeah,
off
you
to
got 5 hours. Yeah, the
Yeah,
VIP at
exactly.
Disney.
Oh, look at this. Steven wants to know right away. Your fellow Texan.
Yeah, it was Big Texas Horror, Big Texas Terror. It was at the Henry B.
And no, you shouldn't feel like a poop. And you know when you especially shouldn't feel like a poop? If you paid for freaking VIP, then do it.
Yeah, but see, that's the imposter syndrome. Like the comic shop had the VIP badge, and so I was helping with the shop, and they gave it to me. So I wasn't really physically out of that money. I don't know. I was also glad that I got it done. I got Doug's autograph. I went and got Nick Castle's and Linda Blair, and I got them on.
Linda Blair.
She was amazing. She was so sweet. And I got them on their VHS tapes, so they're like first release VHS tape versions of like The Exorcist, Hellraiser, and Halloween. No, I'm not. It's a little bit of a drive.
You guys, find yourselves in Texas. Come on.
Texas is too big. Like that's like a 6-hour drive.
You're telling a New Yorker that Texas is too big. You know, like my state doesn't cover our coastline. And
come on, you can drive for an entire day in Texas and still be in Texas. Like if you start in Brownsville and you went up to like Amarillo, you're still in Texas and it's still the same day. Like it's maybe like 13, 14 hours. I'm exaggerating, but it's still like a long drive.
I want to see how much driving.
You're verifying. You're doing a fact check live.
No, I'm fact checking New York.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Texas is bigger or whatever. Like,
it's kind of universally known.
You know, I know, but you know what? Sad, like because in my experience, not everything is bigger in Texas, and that was disappointing. I wish I could have gotten a refund on that.
No problem.
And like. I should warn you next time. I was like, can you please make sure that the Texas delivers on the good promises? Oh my gosh. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure at what point Stevens will send facts, but there you go.
Yeah.
For you, not for like at the world at large, and not for what it means to society, but for you, what's the most important first appearance in comics?
Cliff does not give you these questions ahead of time, by the way. These are very surprising questions.
Well, because it's one-on-one, so like it's more fun. But
yeah, I get it. I know.
If I'm doing a group of people, I'm like, nah, yeah, this is out of control. You need to know in advance because I can't with 20 of you. With one of you, I'm like, just give me a fun answer. Let's just roll with it.
I mean, is it like of all time? Like, doesn't matter for me.
Mine is just Action Comics #1 because Superman means that much to me. Period. But also because of my historical enthusiasm for comics, of course, again, still Action Comics #1. Mm-hmm. But like in both scenarios, I'm still choosing that.
I'm gonna give you 3. Can I give you 3?
Give me 3.
All right, because the easy one for me is Detective 27. So
there you go,
Batman. And it still like holds up and is fun. Oh, that's a good one.
It is.
Let's see what else. I had 3. Shit. One is coming up in some of my homework. So I'll just save that one and bring it up when that happens. And then my other one is Billy Kaplan with the Young Avengers, and like Asgardian. And then they were like, wait a minute.
I feel them together. I feel it's a breakthrough moment in comics.
Yeah, I think Billy and Teddy and like all of that. Like I'm a big Young Avengers. I've got that entire run. Hunted down Young Avengers #1.
I didn't have to hunt it down. I read the first issue. And I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And I like this Iron Lad thing on the last page. And when I got home and I'm rereading it, I was like, Hoagland and Asgardian feel very familiar with each other. And then like I think it was like issue 2 or 3, like the letter pages, people are like, what's going on with these two? We're getting a vibe here.
Yep.
And then forget it. I have been their ride or die straight through from day. I have like 3 or 4 copies of Young Avengers #1 in this house, you know, like, and the director's cut, and like I have just been hanging in there. Everything Wiccan. If they drink, oh my God, what am I saying here? If they're in space having tea with the Grandmaster on page 4 of a book, I'm gonna have it. When they show up Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm gonna have it. I'm just there.
Same.
For that.
I'm you know, like I said, only last couple of years. So everything that happened between my last collecting, you know, stint and then now, I'm like trying to catch up on. And then, you know, but yeah, anything Wiccan, anything Hulkling, like if they're on the cover, if they're like, there's like an Avengers cover that just has Wiccan on it, and I don't read Avengers, and I was like, well, nope, gotta have this one.
Yep, so. I'm like, oh, they're there. Sorcerer. Listen, I happen to love Wanda, but Wiccan's usually there, so.
Yep.
I was like, she's checking in with her. I do love that they've made a point of Wanda staying connected with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like a little touch and go, but like Steve Orlando has made sure that while he's been writing her every series, like she's in touch. They're checking in. There's something there, and I do love that there's an element of like she's the mother, but like Billy's worried about her. You know? Yes,
because Wanda doesn't. I mean, she's aware of herself. Like she's like, I'm not worried about it, but like, I'm capable. But Wiccan's still young, you know. Yeah. And
I know, but even he's aware that like it's like, oh man, I'm gonna become like insanely powerful one day. Like he knows his fate. So I love it, and I love.
Are you reading his current the current Wiccan?
The Witch's Road.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. I was like, bring it to me. One of the few things Marvel's doing correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, it is such a fun read, and like it goes by incredibly fast. And I'm like, God, I gotta wait. Now I gotta wait another month.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. And you know what I look forward to? I look forward to when I have all the issues, and then they'll just read them all together.
Oh, what I will 100% do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I forget. That's I can't wait to read the next issue of like when I get my singles. And then when the next one comes out, I'm like, God, what happened in the last one? Like, it's been a month. I don't remember. Yeah. So like, I
have to go do a little back and forth, you know? And then sometimes there's just that really great sense of when you have them all together and you read them back to back, you know, and you're like,
yeah,
this is the story.
Yeah. Yeah. 100.
Absolutely. All right. One more thing before I move on to something else. There's another tough question. I'm sorry. A little tough. Oh, Dave loves Kate Bishop. I can't believe how old those characters are now. It's driving me crazy. You know?
Yeah, we're getting to the point where if they do this as a movie, they're not the young Avengers anymore. Like it doesn't like.
Well, comic book characters don't really age.
No, but if they were to take if they wanted to really do the MCU version,
well, they have to start with the Young Avengers and just take advantage of 20-somethings and early 30-somethings that look young enough, and then run from there.
I mean, Joe Locke is still going to look young for a long time, but you know, Haley and the rest of the crew that has already been introduced, it's like they're like the 20th the 20s Avenger. I don't know. I can't come up with something clever. The youngish Avengers, the younger than Tony Stark Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah, I by the way, I know this pain. Like I felt like there was plenty of comic stores when I was a kid, and now there's like one down the road for me that I don't enjoy. One run around the corner from my current job, which has been my shop for the last 20-something years, right? And then 1 hour that way, 1 hour this way. Oh, there's another one that's about 35 minutes away, and they're nice, but like, you know. And what does a graded comic even mean? Well, in essence, it just means that somebody has taken a look at the comic, observed the grading, given it a rating, and then once it's graded, it is then slabbed with the label, the grade, etc. It's airtight, it's sealed, so there's some protection for your collectible, etc. Can someone grade you a book and it doesn't go into a slab? Yes, some people call that soft grading, and that's pretty much it. And so that sort of thing, like this is like my trophy section, right?
Yeah.
And but I'm reading comics, like I have so many singles, like I'm surrounded by singles. So look, it's a whole thing. All right, I have a little section here that I like to call
it's a toot or a boot, right? Okay, I got it.
It's a toot or a boot. Yes, exactly. So as usual, it's brought to us by, not with their permission, Cover Price. Today is 1 year later. It is the weekly top 10 of March 2025. Okay. So how the system works here, if you choose to rate it, it's a scale of 1 to 5. 1 like, this is for somebody, not necessarily for me. With 5 being like, wow, I think everybody should own one of these. All right, we're going to begin at number 10 from last year. Comes in a 1992 Image book. It's Spawn number 5, and it's because of Shirley Johnson. They gave her a series, and so of course it sparked interest in the character, and here we are. And yes, Chris, you are lucky to have 3 chefs within 30 minutes. Very lucky.
Yeah, I'm probably the same way. I've got about 6.
So generous.
Yeah, I know. San Antonio. It's great. I'm not a Spawn guy, but I do love the cover. Have not read this. I would not say I hate it. So I don't feel like I'm informed enough to judge like the content, but like as a cover, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's like a 3 or a 4.
Ooh.
Like I want, like I do want to, like I don't have any Spawn in my collection, and but I have felt a little bit of the itch, especially like having dealt with Jonathan so much. He's doing a lot of Spawn stuff and traveling with Todd. So, yeah, 3 or 4. I don't think Spawn's not for everybody, so I can't give it a 5.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and also I'm totally giving this a 3. And I actually do know what's going on inside the book. All right, next up at number 9, obviously because of the success of the Disney Plus series, we have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 1.
You got it over there.
Yep. Oh, you got it over there. I guess that means we're going to rate it.
Yeah, I don't need to show it. It's on the screen. It was good. I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan. But I feel boring. It's like a 3, like a 2-3.
Like a 2 or a 3.
I love the cover art. Like I love the retro. That's why I like Michael Cho's work so much. It's got kind of that cartoon, just fun kind of vibe.
No, it does. It does. I really like the book. I don't know if it's like groundbreaking or anything. But like, yeah, I would give it a 3. I mean, if you enjoy the Disney Plus series and you love your Spider-Man, like there's no reason not to check this out.
Especially if you're like a newer reader or like a younger reader and you're looking for jumping on points to try to like hook yourself into the comics. Like I'm in a constant struggle to get my nephews into it. And like one is latched onto like anything Godzilla. So it's like trying to find cool stuff that's like, oh, this is a good entry place for you. And so like now he's coming to like cons with us. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, that's the best. I don't know if I've ever experienced that, but that's okay. All right, at number 8, it's Pop Kill number 1, the Amanda Conner 1 in 10 variant. This one very much is here for being a cover, right? So we don't even have to get into the content.
Oh, I've read it. I love Pop Kill.
Yeah,
you
do love Pop Kill?
I do. I am a huge fan. Jimmy Palmiotti was one of the very first comic creators I ever met in person. And he signed some of my stuff when I was in college. Cool guy. This is a great book. I don't have this cover particularly, but I've loved every every cover I've seen, every cover that I own. I don't think this is for everyone, so I'm going to withhold a 5, even though my gut is like, no, you should read Popkill. So I'll do like a 4.5. Like,
Okay.
it's good. It's such a dumb story, like, but interesting and clever, and yeah.
Mostly I'm all about it because of just how clever it is. But overall, I'm just giving this. I'm giving it a 2.5.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Because it's one part. Well, this is about buying the cover, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. My rating was a little bit more of like the whole series,
Right.
Kind of,
So this is more about buying this particular cover, whereas like the series in general for me would get more of a 4. You
Okay.
know.
So then, if I'm just in cover, then I'm with you. It's like a high 2, almost 3. But yeah,
Yeah, because
didn't buy this one.
your mileage is going to vary, and you're going to go out of your way to find this 1 in 10.
Mm-hmm. I had the opportunity to get this one. This was on the shelf, and I did not pick it up.
Universal Slum. There are many Facebook groups for buying, selling, and trading, and some of those guys are YouTubers who have claim sales. You should.
But it looks like he wants to sell. I mean,
He wants to sell, buy, trade. I think reach out to Bleecker Street Comics. He's in Canada, but reach out to him because he is part of another group where they do claim sales and stuff. And at least he knows that stuff, not the way I do. I think that's somebody you should check in with. Just trying to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really know enough. All right. At number 7, it's Geiger number 10. It's a second printing, which gives us a full cover introduction to the glowing woman, and it's done by Gary Frank. Once again, a bit of a cover buy.
I have not read any Geiger. I do love Ghost Machine. I like the Rockefellers.
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm not connecting with it. I get 2. I don't know. I'm that's all just on cover. It's just not that interesting. Like, I like first cover appearances, but it's just a chick like standing, and yeah.
But
I'm not drawn into, like, if I saw this on the shelf, I'd be like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know what it's.
Once again, I'm at a 2.5.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it's a second print, but on the other hand, I love Gary Frank. On the other hand, you're absolutely right. What does this mean when you see this cover? But on the other hand, I actually know what this story is about, and I actually enjoy it. So 2.5 is like middle ground, right?
I'm viewing it with like zero context, so it like a cover of a book should sell me on the contents. It should get me. It should make me feel something like, oh, I need to know what happens here, like, or there's something intriguing about this, and this doesn't do it.
Yeah, I feel like the original A cover did that job, and then this cover was just to be like, look, it's her. And speaking of heavens to Betsy, the Whatnot Marvel Trading Pack Red Hulk 3-pack sealed variant. Does anybody remember these? This was kicking off the heat back. Well, no, I don't think this one is the one that kicked off the heat, but it was hot at the time.
Early. Yeah.
Early in the blind bagginess of it all. Sir, shall we rate it or hate it?
I hate it. I'm not a Hulk fan. I don't own any Hulk. I'm so sorry. If I know that there's some previous people who've been on with you that love the Hulk. It's not for me. I have had the opportunity to buy this, like the like main first print, and not interested. So I know that's controversial, probably. I don't know.
I don't think it's wildly controversial.
I just think it's like, I'm like, oh, it's like Malibu Stacy, and now she has a new hat. Like, oh, now we have a red Hulk. Like, I don't care.
You know, it's like, look, it's Malibu Skipper, everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. I get it. It's important, and for some people, it's like a really cool thing. And I don't want to, you know, poop on anybody's things that they're really into. But when I'm just talking about me, pass. I don't.
All right, well, prepare yourself for am I or am I not pooping on things people are into? Because at number 5, it's Mark Spears Monsters number 1, the 4th printing Smoking Skull Virgin variant.
I'll rate it. I have a nice little, you know, collection of Mark Spears stuff. I think it's cool. I think there's other much cooler Mark Spears number 1 covers. Like I have this, I think it's number 1 where it's like Trick or Treat and it's like the doors open and it's all the monsters. I love that cover. But I have a little bit of Mark Spears fatigue, so it's kind of clouding my my judgment on this. But speaking on just the artwork alone, I think it's pretty badass, and it's like a 3. So it's because it's not my favorite Mark Spears stuff, but
it's also a 1 in 450 for Sad Lemon Comics. But despite all that, I'm giving it a 3 across just because it's 4th printing. It's a limited run. If you really want to go out of your way to get it, sure. But do I enjoy monsters? Yes. Do I adore Mark Spears more than ever? Yes. After hearing his story from his words, seeing what a kind and generous spirit he is, I only want this man to succeed. You know?
I need to go into more like learning about him. Like I've learned about it, you know, like been interested in like his process and stuff, but I don't know much about him personally. So that if it's changed the way you've looked at him, and then I'm definitely interested in learning more about what's going on with Mr. Mark Spears from Alabama.
Oh my God, go look up Mark Spears Comics During Cancer, and that's all you need. It's on MJ Comics.
Okay.
You will watch, you will enjoy, you might even cry a little bit, and he gave away so much stuff, including the hat he was wearing. He took it off and signed it and added it to the giveaway to help raise money for Comics Curing Cancer, which we did go well over our goal, getting into the later 60,000. So That was great.
That's
so
cool.
Love him. Only want him to succeed. The other person recently that I was like ho hum about, and then I saw them tell their story was Brett Bean, and many of his colleagues told him, why are you wasting your time with this? No one cares about this fantasy stuff. It's not going to sell. It's not going to do well. There isn't a market for this. His colleagues told him this, and he went to press anyway. And now I went from, I don't know why this book is getting so much attention, to, I want 10th printing for that man, and I want it now.
It's not too far-fetched. When going through like for my FOC orders, like I had no idea, but I was like, that looks really fun, and I bought it, and then it blew up, and I was like, do I want $80 more than I want this comic? And I sold it.
Yeah, you go through it. You go through it. It's something you go through. It's true.
Yeah, but I have a second print, so we're good.
There we go. I too have a second print.
Oh, I love this cover.
Right, X-Force number 116. You know what this book is, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yes.
No, I love it. It's definitely not for everybody, which is a shame. I remember this was like in my height of like, I'm back into comics. I'm reading the X books, and like, and then this one comes out, and I'm all like, what is going on? Like, this is so weird and different and unique. And yeah, I love this run. I don't have a full run of this, but I have quite a bit. I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah, I really love, and let's not forget, we get dupe out of this.
Yeah.
Like if people are like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, we got dupe. We got dupe, people. So yeah, I too am going with a 4. I feel like it has this unique imprint on the history of X Comics, and that's it. It is what it is. All right, something a little bit fun and unusual at number 3. It's Invincible number 59, and of course, this story was adapted into the last season of Invincible.
Yeah.
And so that was what gave it a little bit of oomph for people to look at it. It's still doing well as a raw, and although there's a big drop from in graded, it's still high for graded because print run of Invincible is rather low.
Yeah, and it'll probably when we get back in like later this month when season 4 hits, I feel like prices will go right back up because mainstream audiences aren't thinking about it, and it's going to bring more people in. And so, like, for example, like this is a type of cover that actually gives me kind of like a what's going on in this book. Like I'm like, okay, who's going to win this fight? What's going on? And so yeah, it's a high 3-4. I don't own any Invincible. I missed out when Invincible started and all that, and so like I the only Invincible I have is the chase that came with the Battle Beast blind bag. So I only bought like 8 or 9 of those, which is probably more than I should have, but I pulled every single one of the chases. I got like Battle Beast number 2. I got the team up. So in the first appearance of Battle Beast, it was just like one after another, and I was just like in disbelief. But I thought I was just looking at a bunch of A covers. Yeah,
I love that. That's awesome.
That was a cool. The only cool blind bag that's happened in this whole thing has been that Battle Beast one.
Okay, the Mark
Spears, but
the original Mark Spears, the Battle Beast one, and there was one that gave you 3 books that I really liked.
Oh, was that did Image? Because I know Image did something over Christmas.
Yeah, but that one was weird. You would get a ratio out of that one.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but yes, I honestly think that right, Robert Kirkman killed it with Battle Beast, and Mark Spears very generous. And even still, the price on his blind bag issues is still very manageable.
Yeah.
And he did say last year for Comics Curing Cancer that he is toying with the idea of a Comics Curing Cancer blind bag. He just needs to figure out the logistics for it, you know. But even if he doesn't figure out the logistics for it, he said he's absolutely, coming back for more this year. So we're very excited about that. All right, at number 2, it's more Mark Spears, and it's an Ash Can this time. It's Space Ghost and Johnny Quest Space Quest.
I have that.
I bet you do.
I have this and the Ash Cans, like the regular. I would say it's probably not it's not my favorite Mark Spears. I feel like there's a little bit of weird Uncanny Valley going on with Johnny and God, what's his name? Sanji, something probably mildly, I don't know.
I'm losing it too.
I can't remember his name. But I do love me Space Ghost. I love David Pepos's Space Ghost run a lot. It is just goofy fun time with some serious darker little bits.
I think Space Quest was a great little series.
Yeah, no, it was. It's a high 3. It's a high 3 or 4. I'm going to get one of those Daredevil blind bags. I'm going to get a couple. I'm a little leery because the last time Marvel did blind bags, every single one of those bags that came into our shop was damaged. Every single one. And then to get our money back, we had to destroy them.
Yep.
And so we opened them up and we kept a log. You had like a 1% chance of getting any of the like variants. Yep. We pulled so many A covers. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that I didn't go.
They really should never have included the A cover.
No, you should. If you're going to do a blind bag, you put the A cover and then you have the option of the blind bag. And the blind bag's the only way you can get the variants. It's the only way you can get the incentives. Make that the way you do it. Like if you're going to do a blind bag, don't make a blind bag and make a bunch of variants and then go, oh, well, now you can buy for like $1 more. You have a chance of getting the book that you could have just picked up on open order. Like you can do it correctly. Like Battle Beast, only way to get it was blind bag. And like make it something like that. Like actually make it go all in or don't. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
Material.
I gotta tell you, that's why I like with Kirkman. is the Battle Beast blind bag was the same price as issue 1.
Yes.
So even if you got A, it didn't matter. You paid the
That's
same
right.
price.
Right. That's
You know?
right. It was the Mark Spears one that was like, if you want it, it's only blind bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. So like, and Mark Spears did a beautiful job with like, hey, it could be any of these many wonderful covers. You know,
I don't know how he does it. Like, how do you churn out all these covers for like DC and other publishers, and then also on top of that, do 75 covers for your blind bag? It's impressive.
Well, he uses 3D modeling software, right? So he's designed all of his models,
right?
And then you can reuse those models however you wish. So like that's helpful.
Yes.
So it's not like it's not like he has to sit there and detail out each and every single time, right? So like that's really helpful. So it gets the ramp going. But listen, even for what he's doing, he's still incredibly talented and thoughtful, and at least it's originally his, which is all about it.
Agreed.
But I am gonna grab about 3 of the Daredevil blind bags and roll the dice on them, and that's about it. Because I feel the same way you feel. Now at number 1, I have mixed feelings. It's Red Hulk number 1, the Joshua Cassara PX Previews variant, limited to 3,000. Interesting. Rate it or hate it?
I kind of hate it. I'm sorry. Like, again, it's
no, I'm with you. That's why
I do like what they're trying to, I think, kind of do here, which is like that. And I'm blanking on the issue, but it's the one with Wolverine and the claws, and you can see Hulk like reflected in the claws. I know it's like an iconic book, and I can't come up with the number off the top of my head, but it's like the reflection in Doom's mask and all that. Like, I think that's kind of cool, and it has kind of but I'm also like kind of like confused because it doesn't read like a reflection, really.
Right, you have to sit there and look at it.
Yeah, like at first I was like, oh, when did the Hulk become Doctor Doom? And then
then you're like, oh wait, he's reflecting. Oh. I feel like if they had done this as a spot foil, it would have been stronger.
Agreed. That would have been cool. Yeah, it would have helped.
Oh well. I mean, for the cover alone,
they don't ask me. They don't ask my opinion before.
They don't ask any of us our opinions, but for the cover alone,
I don't think they care.
I give it a 2 for the cover alone, but in general, like I'm fine with hating it.
Yeah, it's a 1 or 2. I don't necessarily.
There's nothing else happening with this book.
Yeah.
And that was rated or hated, folks.
Yay.
All right. Now for this next segment, which I'm still working on artwork for. We're gonna call it Shelf Pleasure. What's this? They should have distorted Hulk's face more and made Doom's mask shinier so it can stand out. Yes, exactly.
It's a 3D mask. Yeah, like it should have had like some.
I feel like spot foil would have done it. I feel like spot foiling would have done it.
Yeah.
All right. So your first piece of homework is for what I call Shelf Pleasure. Art to come soon. But for Shelf Pleasure, what 1 book did you bring?
Oh, so you brought one of the things that you asked me to bring was a comic that you're glad to. Is this what you're asking for this one?
Yes.
Okay,
that's for Shelf Pleasure. Yes.
Okay, so I have 2 that I want to do, and this one is something that I don't know if a lot of people have, but it's not hard to get, and it's a comic that has followed me ever since I bought it, and it's Sequest number 1 from Nemesis Comics. It's a Howard Chaykin cover, and there's only 1 issue of this book. The book was immediately canceled because Roy Scheider put his foot down and was like, no, Sequest is about exploration and science, and this one has like mutated mermaid people, and it gets very gory, and there's a gorgeous, and I have another one because anytime I find Sequest, I buy it. It even teases what issue 2's cover is going to look like on the back, and with his David Dorman artwork. The Sequest is unfortunately drawn upside down, which is kind of sad. You spend all that work and you drew it incorrectly. But I remember going to the newsstand like over and over, like, when is it coming out? Because there's, the internet, it was in an infancy stage and I had no idea. I was a child. And I'm just glad I have it. So anytime I find Sequest, I buy it. And I had wished I had remembered that Ted Raimi was going to be at the con yesterday, because I could have gotten him to sign my Sequest, and I didn't.
Oh, that would have been great.
That's well spent. But the other one, so this one's a modern one.
Wait, that's a separate segment. We're gonna get into that. That part is.
Oh, I had, but I had one more for like the
for the shelf pleasure.
Yeah, this
All
is
right.
just. I'll make this one quick. Okay. So I'm a big Transformers GI Joe. I'm really into the Energon universe, and if you're reading it, and I won't spoil necessarily, because when I show you this, it will spoil, I guess. I have been following the little drops of hints that like Matt Tracker and like the Mask universe is slowly coming in, and
Yes,
I have the Mask #1. This is the like one per store, the one they sent to the retailers for like a preview.
Ooh.
And so this is because Mask #1 comes out in June. So go ahead and like drop your pre-orders in, because I want this thing to do really good.
So when that came into the shop, you started elbowing people. You were like, "Don't screw me like the Superman Flash race. This is mine."
I will say this is the one example that he sent me a text, the shop owner, and I was like, I want that. Like, don't put that out. Like,
You're like, I want it now. I'll be there. Like,
yeah, because it was gonna go on it was gonna go out on Wednesday, and I was like, no, I'm pulling my privilege card here. I want this. Do not make me wait in this line and elbow people to try to get it, because I know there's other people in that line on Wednesday that would definitely fight me for it.
I'm sure. We have one or two of those in my shop, and I got, you gotta, oh my, and sometimes there's a fight. There's a fight because when your two whales show up and they want the one book there's only one of, the whale fight is good. It's like, do you know how much I spend in the shop? I spend just as much and some weeks more.
Yeah. There's a couple of dudes who I know are really into the Energon stuff, and whenever there's like an incentive cover that's hot, and if I get there like a little bit later than them, I'm like, shit, I don't get it. It's not gonna be mine.
Oh, no. These guys will call up and be like, yo, I better have that 1 in 100 when I show up.
Oh,
right?
so with the exception of that one time that Superman Flash comic, our shop does not do that. Our shop will say, no, you have to wait. This is first come, first serve. The shop opens 30 minutes earlier than any other shop in town.
Yeah.
And so that's where we all go and we all wait in line, and it's just, you get a completely fair shot, except for Mask, because I was like, no, I want this.
Well, you kind of get I don't know. You almost kind of get a fair shot, but you don't. The two whales go at it, and of course, because of the whales.
But here's the difference. The difference with the Mask cover is that it was never put on the shelf, and they never put it on their social media that it was going to be out on Wednesday. So nobody knew they missed it. Nobody knew.
Yeah, no, our whales are too picky and demanding. And one of them the other day had the nerve to say, he's like, I'm paying $65 for this, and I could have paid $44 from my comic shop. He goes, would my comic shop have reserved it for you? Does my comic shop have to pay overhead like I do? I was like, don't you have to pay shipping for my comic shop? He goes, you're welcome. And he's like, okay. And I was like, and he said it in the nicest. I'm making it more me.
Right, exactly.
Our friend said it in like the nicest, softest, gentlest way possible. You know? It's like, well, I have overhead, I have this, I have that. Plus you don't have to pay any shipping. And like, it was just so sweet. And the guy said, yeah, okay, you make a good point.
And you're part of a local community as opposed to just some account on a website. Like that's something.
Listen, it's true, but at the same time, when I get a 35% coupon on a pre-order, I'm taking the 35% discount on the pre-order.
Yeah, there's get your comics however you want them.
I believe in that, but I also really deeply believe in supporting local business.
Oh, 100%. I don't do the online shopping.
Yeah, but if they don't treat you right, they don't treat you right, and you jump ship to an online shop, I can't blame you either.
Absolutely, and I don't get it. I think that's what hurts LCS is on a large scale is because if you're like I'm interested in comic books, the perception of a comic book store is intimidating. It's like if I know nothing about comics and I go into a shop, the people that running that place need to be like welcoming me into it because you and guiding you to the right spot instead of being like you don't know about whatever. Like that's dumb. Everyone knows about this book. Like that, just kind of like better than everybody knows it all. Rude to customers. Like forget it. No, thank you. There's a few of those.
I love how somebody came into the shop looking for Birds of Prey once. This young woman, and we were like, "Oh, cool, whatever." And I'm the one, of all people, I'm the stupid one who said, "Wait, are you shopping for yourself or like a boyfriend?" She's like, "I am shopping for myself." I was like, "Well, that's the answer I like to hear." And then we whipped up 2 short boxes of Birds of Prey. I was like, "Here's everything you want, every series. You ask me where do you want to start, end, whatever. Take whatever you want. Shop by cover. We're here to support you." She's like, "Okay, you're overcorrecting."
Too much.
But she's like, I think it's like Birds of Prey, like the first one's a mini series, right?
Yeah.
So she wanted the first ongoing, and she left with almost the entire first ongoing. That's and cool, I was like, yay!
Very cool. Sorry to derail. I know you did your intro thing, and then we went off on a tangent about other stuff, but.
Oh no! I've never derailed on any of my shows before. Here, let's do that again.
Okay.
Right, Five Finger Shuffle is 5 books with a theme of your own choice.
I know, and I went with another kind of like this is my unique collecting habits. I chose Pulp Heroes as my theme, and as a child, I used to check out old radio shows from the library. I think I was the only one. I'm talking like 8 or 9 years old. I was a weird kid. And so I was like enthralled with like The Shadow.
Yes, who knows what darkness lies in the hearts of men?
The Shadow
knows.
Exactly. So there's that. I have a nostalgia for that. Also, my grandma took me to see The Rocketeer, and that has been such. So that aesthetic, that Dick Tracy, that I was 10 years old, all of that stuff was all happening all at the same time. And so I have been amassing just my favorite pulp heroes. And so the first book I've got is a Gold Key from 1964. And this is a Phantom cover. It's a George Wilson, kind of glossy. There we go. And there's a rainbow. He's the ghost that walks, but he also beats people up.
There you go.
I love that cover. There was another cover I liked, but I couldn't find it. It's somewhere. It's in. I have a filing cabinet system, and I could not figure out where it was. All right. I mean, they're in alphabetical order and they're all logged, but I couldn't remember if it's in one of these or in one of my like BCW like hard box thingies. And I didn't want to dig through them all. All right. So then continuing on, brought up The Shadow. So this is the first DC issue of The Shadow. It's written by Dennis O'Neil. And cool cover, and I like the vibe. I like that The Shadow is like able to. I don't know. He's always got his guns. I feel like I always try to like heroes and stuff have guns. But so Shadow number 1.
He's like, I use guns, but really that's how I use guns. Like,
yes, mostly psychological manipulation and all kinds of other things that The Shadow does. That's like. But mostly guns. Also, I think maybe I have a dual wielding thing because like the Shadow and the Phantom are both kind of dual wielding pistol guys. All right, and then the next book. This one took me a long time. I have a very large collection. They're kind of like right there. These are all Doc Savage paperbacks, and then this is Doc Savage's James Bama cover. There's only one of these, so like there's not multiple copies. I'm really hating this. I have a glare. Should I take it out?
You don't have to take it out, but yeah. Oh,
Well, look at this.
I love the painted covers. I really do.
I do too. I love it. It's this the ones I picked. I was like, oh, it's a lot of Gold Key stuff I have. But this is a kind of like a remake of one of the books, which is called the Thousand-Headed Man, which I have in the paperback version. But yeah, I love this era, this pulp heroes. I've got some like Doc Savage prints, and he's just like, hold on, I'm going to show you one.
Oh,
Hold on 1 second. I mean, come on.
oh, that's fantastic.
This is like from the pulp paperbacks, and I have a few of those in my collection.
We need more of that. We can't leave Nightwing to do all the work alone.
I know. Give me a break, Mr. Doc Savage. Anyways, so then the next book, I think I have 6 instead of 5, because it's kind of like 2 for 1. I know,
Sure.
going the extra mile here. But this is Star Slayer: The Log of Jolly Roger. It's issue number 2. But do you know why I have this one?
That is the first appearance of
We mentioned it. I mentioned it earlier.
not even earlier, but like someone covered this last night, and I have the issue of Star Slayer that I picked up yesterday. That's the first appearance of Gru. That one is the first appearance of ElfQuest.
No, it's the first appearance of Dave Stevens, the Rocketeer.
I mean, I knew it. We just talked about it last night.
I know it's kind of like but it was one of those things where I guess they had the story had extra pages, and they just squeezed in it's not even advertised on the book. Like it's
my Star Slayer is the same thing, and Gru and the intro to Gru is in the background. Almost every issue of Star Slayer is like that. Like they use Star Slayer, I think was their popular book, so they used it to help launch everything else.
Yeah, and so then I mean I went on a tear and I've got all of the Rocketeer stuff.
They're so great.
And then to my surprise, I didn't realize the Doc Savage connection with the Rocketeer, like the Dave Stevens Rocketeer. So I'm over here reading. I'm all into Doc Savage, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to start getting these Rocketeer stuff. And I'm flipping through, and then it's the guy who built his rocket pack shows up with his buddies. I'm like, they're not saying the name, but I'm like, this is Doc Savage. Doc Savage made his rocket pack, and Monk and the rest of a couple of his other dudes in his gang like came to get it back from him. And I was just like, this is incredibly cool. I love the homage that Dave did to the pulp heroes that inspired the Rocketeer. It was such a cool little connection.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's a fantastic connection, and I love that he captures the Rocketeer. Genuinely feels like an old pulp character, even though he was not created then. Yes,
and that's the only reason why I'm like including it, because it feels so authentic. I don't know if you're right now. The last week or 2 weeks ago, the Rocketeer: The Island came out.
Yes.
If anything remotely like that kind of type of comic is interesting to you, this is so good. It's a Dave Stevens story. It's an outline that was unproduced, and the amount of things that are popping up, like cameos of other characters that are like in the public domain. I'm excited to see what happens in a little bit, because there is one of the covers that has a skull cave on it, and so I'm hopeful that we'll get some like homage version of, whether or not it's the Phantom or not, like it's a version of it. It's like a fair use version. But I'm stoked. It's he's hunting down Amelia Earhart. Come on, it's Popeye.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Where did she disappear to?
Yeah, and then my last one is Flash Gordon. It's another Gold Key.
Oh my god, I love that. Before this is beautiful too, but the fact that Popeye was the sailor of that ship was so freaking cool. I love that.
I was like, wait a minute. Okay, clearly this is Popeye, but is he just a dude? Is he just the captain of the ship?
Popeye because Popeye became public domain.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then they literally say, I don't know, it's Popeye guy. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going for it. We've got Popeye, and I don't want to. I really encourage people to pick it up, and I don't want to spoil any of the other ones, but I can see I can see where they're going, and I'm really pumped about it. And those are
about it. I was like, it was one of those books where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna give this a try, and I was like, oh wow,
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
yeah, super
Also,
good.
I've been working on a story in which I want to use when I initiate the story, I'm not using public domain characters, but I plan to include public domain characters. I don't want to shoehorn it right in. Like, you'll see things in the first book to let you know that you're in a shared world with that. And that's it until I actually have reasons for those characters to cross over. But that's not here nor there, you know.
Yeah,
It's just on my we're all gonna die list. I gotta publish that book. I gotta publish it, you know.
Do your thing. Absolutely. So those are my 5. Well, actually, I showed 6.
Hold up the Flash Gordon again, because I talk too much when you.
That's okay.
Yeah. Again, that's another gorgeous cover.
I just love the painted. Like I fell into a kind of a Gold Key few months where I was just picking up any Gold Key that I could find, like the Lost in Space, Dr. Solar, Magnus the Robot Fighter. Like the covers are so cool. They're hard to find in good quality. The paper that they used for Gold Key back in the day was like really thin. Like it's been very rare times where I've run across a Gold Key like in really good shape. But yeah.
Do you remember the publishing house for them?
It was Weston.
So yeah. Weston was here where I live, right? And I actually thought about making a video because it used to be a Staples and now it's just empty. I thought about making a video of like, this used to be Weston Publishing. So there was a girl at our shop, a young woman at our shop. Her mother passed away, had a bunch of stuff from Weston Publishing. We sent a bunch of it to my comic shop and like the older gentleman there at Lone Star Comics like reviewed it and was like, where exactly did these come from? And, you know, blah, 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 blah. And like, so our shop owner gave him more information. He goes, is this woman aware that her mother inked these books? You know? And like, so like, it's like a whole thing. And he's like, yeah, all of these copies are file copies that you've given me, you know? And like, and he defined them and he made notes and he's like, all right, what's the deal? Do you want me to give you store credit? Do you want me to pay you cash? Do you want me to send it back to you? You know, and I don't remember the outcome, but I remember she was devastated because her mother never talked about what she did and she never bothered to ask, but she knew her mother worked for Weston Publishing. And she says, oh my God, I threw out stuff from her home studio and oh my God, what could have been in there, right? Like, so she was happy because she learned this historical information about her mom, and she was devastated because she just tossed so much stuff out during her grief, you know? And anyhow, it just made me think, but that's why the paper is what it is, because it was here. I forgot. I feel like I feel like us local boys have to cover it more because it all happened here. We should do it. We should just.
I'd be very interested in hearing about it. I met a couple of the brand Gold Key was purchased a few years ago, and I ran into one of the dudes is like a public speaker. He does like conferences and stuff, and just as a side hustle, he loves comics. And they made a trade. So whoever owned the Gold Key license wasn't doing anything with it, and the brand that person did not own any of the books, didn't own any of the IP, nothing, just the Gold Key name and brand. And they traded a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 for the brand.
Wow!
And so they're doing some like re-releases, some Kickstarter stuff that's been pretty cool. And that kind of what kickstarted my like interest back in the Gold Key, running into this dude at a conference, because he mentioned it in his opening, like I think his name's Adam, and he's like, I do this, and then also on the side, me and my buddies bought Gold Key comics and we're trying to relaunch it, and I was like, oh my god! So I had to talk to him after the show, but
they should do something fun. Publish my book, you know.
Sounds right up there.
So I got to find out more about Weston Publishing because it's so.
I would be interested. I would be really interested in learning.
I drive by this shell of a building that used to be a Staples, that used to be Weston Publishing.
Dang.
You know, I was like, this shopping mall used to be this. You know, I'm gonna have to like find a Hudson Valley historian to like get in on it, and I'll just be like, why? Just why?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh goodness, Chris, thank you so much for joining me. So as usual, I mean, it was an amazing time. I had a good time. I'm absolutely taking a nap, but I had an amazing time. Cliff, if you ever put up that video, that'd be awesome. Yes.
Agreed.
And I want to, but I want to do a lot of things. And I'm not getting any younger. So I'm going to try to push myself to work on that this spring, summer to see if like I can make it come together. But if I cannot get the right people involved to make it happen, it may not happen. But I would like to. I would like to assemble a cast. But I will FDR's estate and Val Kill, Eleanor's estate, are here back to back. And I know we have Dulcet at each. And I'm going to see if they know themselves about the history of Weston Publishing, or if they can point me to somebody who knows the history and would not mind partaking in a crazy comic book video series.
Sounds fun. I'm down. I'm interested in seeing that.
I would love to. I got a bunch of magazines with I've ordered 2. I'm trying to order the rest. Obviously, like I really have to control my spending, but I'm trying to get all these magazine articles about Alex Schomburg, because when I first heard of him, I never dreamt that the man was Puerto Rican or born in Puerto Rico, or that his real name was, Antonio Alejandro Schomburg, de Rosa. All right. So I was like, okay, all right. And then there was like, somebody even created the Schomburg Society, and then it never took off, and their website is dead and unmonitored. And so I'm trying to find articles because I want to piece together what I can about like, the whole deal, because it's really obvious why he went by Alex Schomburg, right? Mm-hmm. He came to mainland. He's an artist. He's working in the city, and like, what's Alejandro? It's like, yeah, he's Alex, and and then of course, that's that German name in his family, and there you have it. And during the World War II. Actually, before World War II, right? But he's working on stuff in the World War II era. He's drawing these heroes battling Nazis. Incredible.
Nice.
All right, so sir, as I was saying before, when we wrap up, let everyone know where they can find you.
All right, so I'm on Instagram and I'm on YouTube. My YouTube, my shorts it's weird. My shorts are mostly comic related, but if you go to my main channel, it's a lot of VHS.
Your main channel is linked down below because I took care of it last night.
Yay, thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm on YouTube. It's Chris Collects Stuff. If you type Chris Collects, you'll find some other Chris that collects coins or something. That's not me. And then it's Chris Collects on Instagram, right? I can't remember if I was able to secure that. It's Chris Collects _stuff.
Yes, it's Chris Collects _stuff.
I don't know why I didn't know that. Yeah.
I was not sharp enough to include the Instagram last night, but
that's okay. I'll comment in the comments.
That's right. And I don't know who Chris Collects Things is, but he's very excited about Pokemon. And
he's not me.
Clearly, he's devastated that you came first. Also, he has 16.1 thousand followers, so that's a thing.
I don't do Pokemon. That's probably why. Nobody wants this. That's the thing. Like, nobody wants this.
There are days where I feel like I should just open a Pokemon pack a day, right? Just
Yeah. Like, I mean, I've only been doing it for like a couple of years too, so I don't. This has not been a long time thing for the channel too. So slowly growing. At first, I was just excited if 100 people watched the video, and now. Yeah, I'm like 100 people
watching on multiple platforms.
And and I had to remind myself, I was like, yeah, that's not like, thousands and, other people's stuff, but 100 people sat and watched you talk about VHS tapes.
Yes.
Like, that's so cool. Like, if you were to put yourself in a room and had those 100 people in front of you, you'd be like, oh my God, there's just so many people. So I just do it for fun, and when I get a chance to do a new video on YouTube, I will. I haven't done one in a while, so I keep up with the.
I always put my new when I do a haul video or a new comic day, well, a short video, a short haul video. Let's call it that, or a new comic day. I always do Instagram, YouTube. You know, yep. I always just, and if I'm really feeling it, I throw it on TikTok too, just so that it's there.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into the TikTok. I mean, I'm on TikTok, but I don't have. I haven't dived into that. I should probably, but
yeah. Well, I gotta have you come back sometime.
Sure.
We may have to talk slabs next time, or I may pair you up with one of my other buddies for a recon night. Or we'll just do the drink questionnaire nights.
Okay.
I have so many lingering, successful but semi-failed projects out there.
I'm down. Just let me know if I can be there. I'll be there.
All right. As usual, tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on the Council of Comics, where we do my last rom-com, The Happiest Season. 7 p.m., I'll be over on I Have Comic Issues with the rest of the Council of Comics. And I don't know what's going on. I may be somewhere at 9 p.m. tonight. No one's really answered me about that. Who knows? And then, of course, Tuesday, super important. Make sure you check it out. Tom King, 10 p.m. Eastern. Me, Velvet Joker. It's great.
So cool.
Chris, thank you again. This was wonderful. Everybody have a fabulous day. Read your comics. And